And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. We still got Democratic whispers bouncing about, but apparently our people are happy enough that even the theory that they should be under democracy is not making them uppity. At the same time, we do have a decent amount of knowledge and decent amount of innovation with various things we could be spending on. I suppose I could be picking industrial crops like herbs, mushrooms, poppies, for example. We're not going to do that. Innovation. Yeah, the flip side is I'm not really sure what I need to spend the innovation on. It probably wants to be buffing refining, either basic craftsmanship, refined craftsmanship, or refining. Out on the world map, we are still expanding. We've got just finished a siege over here. One thing we are going to run into very rapidly is we're basically out of government points, and we've filled up all the promotions again. So to continue expanding, I need to expand the city population. We just hit 3,000 last stream. The next place is 4,500, so we got to get the city to increase by about 50%. On the other hand, we don't really need food. I probably need to increase food storage capacity. Probably do with some storage capacity increasing because we only got 44 food days. I think there's a title. Yeah, the Gourmand that wants us to have 50, but that's also 50 on 75%. It must be food 4 food servings. Currently on on 1 of 5, I think. So I think this one's 75 satisfaction from food servings, which I think is actually 4. But yeah, which would be quadrupling the food consumption. So we want to be improving the city. Probably want to really get services out first, rather than going for food, as I was just bringing up. But we're getting enough food in, although we probably want more storage. At some point, if we can get enough training facilities, we might want to do more melee training for the garrison. Building is really getting into the mountain. That's why we're between 60 or between 50 and 100. We could be potentially looking for shrines and such. Wait, we need to get more people in the town. We did just do a second library, which has probably lowered our sort of efficacy at knowledge in generation. Although it's probably producing enough knowledge. And it's probably, the next expansion should be probably in innovation. Although I think what we're going to try to do is see if I can get down to skilled workforce 3 here. And maybe work on some of the other ones like healthcare, loving subjects, tax collector. In theory, if we could make our regions like us enough, we could undo potentially the massacre buttons in various places. That would potentially be one way to get the neighbors to like us enough to actually trade with us. Maybe not undo all the massacres, but you know, maybe the ones we want to trade with, we don't massacre those populations. Right? So maybe we don't massacre the Tlalopi, so we can trade with them. That would roughly double the opinion there of the foreign nations. But of course, then we'd have a bunch of otherwise fairly grumpy Tlalopi. That okay, are most of that's coming from the Midwife. The Midwife is -6. Yeah, so we've removed, and we'd have to remove it everywhere. You removed massacre everywhere. We'd have to get like 6 bonus to loyalty of the Tlalopi. Now, police stations. I don't actually want to build it here. Provide 1.2, and we can have up to 4 of those, I believe. So that'd be 4.8 at max level. That means every place where we go around, we need to find like a 1, 2 plus loyalty for the Tlalopi. So we should figure out what they like. Actually, looking at that might be reasonably hard. Yeah, we're looking at something like 5-bit, like 5-bit 3 everywhere where we want them. which is reasonably hard. But then we could run multi-race in our empire, and still run the humidifiers that sort of extreme. So we've got options. I don't think we want to increase the knowledge right now, because I think we're still trending up from the last edition. Our current knowledge is 383, and the target is 1,000. Although that's before degradation, so we're probably not going to get to 1,000. It's probably going to be lose 23%, right? So we lose 230 off of that. So we're still expecting to get hundreds more. And that's partially because we added 20 more librarians and then upgraded both facilities. So that's added a bunch of that. May want to do more knowledge, and then that would probably be for innovation, refining, and stuff. How much metal am I making? I'm making 14 a day surplus. Have I finished upgrading all the hearths? Yes, all my hearths are upgraded. Okay, so we don't need to be importing metal anymore. Let's go via our services, make sure we've upgraded the services that we can. That was the hearth. I don't think we've picked up the speaker tech, although that wouldn't be a bad one necessarily to pick up with knowledge as it piles in. Should have a speaker around here. There's my speaker. Yeah. It hasn't been upgraded, but we don't have the tech. Wouldn't be that bad to pick up. Stage we have and is presumably upgraded. I don't think we've picked up the second one, so I'm not going to look for them. Fight pit we've got. Again, we don't have that upgraded. Too early for Grand Arena, although it's not the worst thing to pick up. Restaurant, we're in the wrong biome, really, to do herbs, so we'd have to import the herbs. A little early for that, seeing as we can't trade. Food stalls, taverns, bathhouses, malls are upgraded, markets are upgraded, laboratories are upgraded, physicians. You can maybe do a little bit better access, but I think we were improving that right at the end of the last one. Skinny dipping's fine. Could do with more benches. So I think early this one we're going to work on benches, and maybe a little bit on the humidifiers. Basically go around and do decorations, right? Our people want humidifiers, they want benches, and I have not enough of either. And then temples. Okay, so that's what we're going to do while we let time pass slowly. So I'm going to let the game on pause. 7 minutes into the stream. Now, which neighborhood do I want to start working on first? So we've done the sort of northern neighborhood. Yeah, we've done the northern neighborhood as far as benches go. I could put some more benches near all the humidifiers up here. And shove more humidifiers in around some of the other buildings. Okay. Decoration, benches. Just putting up benches. I want to expand furniture production, given the fact that this is going to cost a bunch of furniture. I should probably put some humidifiers around here. Maybe even put some food stalls around there. We'll come back to that one. Oh, this area definitely needs humidifiers and benches. One of the reasons to do these benches where I'm putting them is to encourage people to hang out near the humidifiers. Which is obviously a buff for our locals, although the slaves won't necessarily be happy about that. Okay, let's switch over to humidifiers for a moment. And we'll have to come back around and do another pass on the benches, and then an upgraded pass on the benches, I suppose. Okay, I think that's a good start for that bit in the neighborhood. So let's come around to the benches, do a bench pass. Bunch of clay, bunch of stone, both things we have. The only thing we're going to be a little bit short on is probably the furniture. Obviously, the workaround to that being make more furniture if it doesn't run out for building. Because we've got plenty of wood, so setting it up to just process more of the wood into furniture would not be a terrible plan. Whoops. I think that's fixed that, because I haven't got around to doing any work on it. Anyway, we're just sort of making sure there's an adequate number of benches, although we're going to have to come back through and do an upgrade pass when these are built. And encouraging people to hang out near the humidifiers, which is one way to sort of get away with needing fewer humidifiers, is to make sure people spend time near them. That's why we're putting benches near them. People want to use benches, or at least want to use benches more than what we've been providing. Okay, so that's that upper neighborhood. You want to east or the sort of south central? Let's do east, because it's going to be a little bit faster to get through east. East has already got a decent amount of humidifiers, except in the eastern block. Oh, even the eastern block's got a decent number of humidifiers. So it's just coming around and putting out the benches. Instant crows. And hopefully it happens. We do have a warning that there's an incoming epidemic. So that's one reason I'm not getting super aggressive with trying to get some growth in right now, is because the city's going to become a little unstable, I believe, when that actually hits. From a functioning population standpoint. And we are letting them slowly get to working this as we're placing these out. So you can probably see the furniture, I think it's dropped like by quarter since we started. As they're just out putting out benches and such. We're getting enough clay, and I'm not surprised the clay hasn't moved. Want some more humidifiers in here? I'm going to say yes, especially over here in the eastern portion. And yeah, we'll wait until we put the bowling in there for a bit. Because the facing on the benches doesn't really matter, and butt some of them a little bit as we go around. I think that covers that neighborhood pretty well. Now we need to get over into this one. Let's do a pass with the humidifiers first. I'm basically floating around the town, looking for places where we don't have good humidifier coverage, and placing a couple more humidifiers in those areas. We do get bonus effects if they overlap, so there's no real concern about putting them too close together. Like, if anything, it's the opposite. I kind of want to place them close together so that we get overlapping effects, because our people want quite high coverage of humidifiers here. Well, except the slaves. The slaves don't need humidifiers, but who asked the help what they like? Bot's trying to post stuff in chat. No, we do not want to buy views here. Just trying to improve the coverage. And somebody need to stop placing these and see what the coverage is after people get around to actually putting them out, but we're not quite... Well, we're going to wait a little longer on that. I know there's still holes in places, so let's improve the coverage first. technically that's probably just improving overlap, but... This one on the road... Actually, I can place a couple little ones on the road here. Bridge. Optimal transit to be weaving through them, I think, there. Again, down the highways. Place them every so often so people gotta walk past them while they walk down the highway. And then we'll put benches next to them so there's every once in a while if they want to rest on their walk, they can rest next to our humidifiers here. Also means people working in the field get to enjoy some humidity. There we go. I think that's enough coverage of humidifiers. On to benches. We can see all the wood, all the unclaimed taxes, because I'm overtaxing the territories. I'm collecting way too much of stuff we probably don't need. In case of wood, and I think there's a bunch of other stuff in that pile that we don't really need. And then, of course, we're going to go around the whole town again, as soon as we're done with this, to upgrade these benches. Might give them a little bit of time to actually be built before we go the upgrade path, but that'd be the next thing to do. Yeah, I'll do the road ones a bit. And yeah, hopefully with this number of benches, we'll have good bench coverage. We'll just have to remember to continue putting benches in places where we expand to. And this whole time we've been getting more knowledge, although the game speed hasn't been going particularly fast, and it hasn't been particularly fast to gain. I say we're up to 200 knowledge. I think enough for what I was saving it for. And probably, frankly, the next thing after it. accidentally deleted a road there. I mean, or misplaced, and by doing that, deleted a road I didn't want to. Reassign it back in. I think technically bench tiles are walkable, so I could block paths with them. But I'm pretty sure they slow people down if there's people occupying them with people walking through them. So I'm trying to avoid doing that. So that's misplacement. Okay, let's put the road back in there. Part of the convenience of just being able to place on top of road also makes it inconvenient when you misplace things on top of road. Because deleting a road is free and fast, replacing it less so. So we're just bouncing around the town, adding in benches as we go. Hopefully once we have all these benches in, this will be more than enough benches. And while I hope it's more than enough humidifiers, I suspect it is not in the case of the humidifiers. Humidifiers need some pretty heavy coverage to max out. And yeah, we're gonna have to expand furniture production and get all these built, because I think I've placed more than we have remaining furniture. Oh, and a furniture production second. Here comes the epidemic that we were predicted end of the last stream. It has come to us, the dreaded river runs. Nothing could have been done. It was the will of the gods. Let us hope our hospitals are well staffed. Curfew can be issued to contain it. And I'm not even going to bother issuing curfew to contain it. going. Going. Getting reasonably close to covering most of the new area. Well, most of the area we've added a bunch of new humidifiers to. I think it's just the road area over here. Left to do. Two benches on each humidifier, call that good. Okay. So, let's deal with the furniture problem, because first, right now, we've got a shortage of furniture, and we've got the pandemic going on, so we'll wait for that to pass anyway. Short-term solution to the furniture problem is probably build another 2 carpenters. Copy the area, furniture included, or decorations included. One there. Up one there. And join the road up. And then we're going to let some speed turn up so we can get through the pandemic here. Which is going to give us a pretty bad day on the odd jobbers in the short run. And then once these jobs are done, we're going to wait until the furniture sort of bounces back. So that we've got some, sort of indicated that we finished the bench upgrade, the bench building before we go around and do upgrades. I can check what the upgrades are going to cost. Room upgrade, find a bench. So it's 2 cut stone each. Okay, so I might want to increase the cut stone production as well. No, enough of the tailors aren't working because of the pandemic that we've got reduced workers from that. Okay. I'm going to do something weird. Well, maybe less weird. This is where our stonemason is. I want to take over one of the neighboring buildings of carpentry to make space for another mason, so I don't have to do another mason warehouse. Because the carpenters can be everywhere. The stone, we're still mining our own stone. So we want the carpenters to be the ones that move. Health got a little low due to the large number of corpses, but we've mostly bounced back. What's our population target right now? Oh, we were also fairly over our population target before. I do think it's probably worth raising the population target, so we're about to basically take on another 100 jobs. So let's go up to 2,800. Slaver has arrived. So I can buy slaves and I can sell slaves. Well, I know what sort of slaves we would like. And we do have a lot of money. Before we interact with that too much. How many human slaves do I have right now? 163. So if I take, let's say we take another 100, or another 237, that would be enough that we could replace all the people working in the libraries with humans. And the laboratories. Because we got 400 librarians and 10 laboratory workers. So 410 humans is kind of what we want. So 247. Assuming we can buy that much. We got 7 million. That might actually be doable. $247. That's doable. So we bought the 247. Do I want more other types? We've got these guys for 4 days. Let's let some time pass. Let these guys come in and see what that does to our submission. And it drags the submission down pretty heavily. Maybe to a worrying degree. Which of the types of slaves I'd be the most interested in getting rid of? The Garthimi. So let's pause. Let's interact with the slave trader again. Slaver. We're willing to sell you all our Garthimi slaves. We don't get much money for that, but most importantly, that helps to raise submission as they leave the city, and the effects of our army on suppressing unrest goes up as a side effect. Extreme temperature, okay. Okay, so we've got one of the carpenters down, so we're gonna do a smart remove on you. And we're gonna copy and paste you over the top. Magically replace the building with the masonry. And then I think I want to increase the training facilities to support controlling our subjects. And then again, we're going to go ahead and create a new unit, so we can have up to 200 more people in arms. Oh, we need the furniture solved. Well, we should be producing furniture pretty quickly now. Yeah, 27 a day, in theory. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of a splurge. Reach out to the neighbors. Diplomacy. We want... Can you give me 1,000 furniture? And just give him a lot of money, but give him some money for that. bounce around, checking for where we got housing issues. Got a little bit of housing issue over here. A little bit over here. Probably build another housing clump down there. Could do with more around the libraries, okay. Still good up north, okay. Let's do the libraries, because we've got lots of people living around the libraries. Managed to cover reasonably well? Yeah. Oops, I went a little too far and I copy and pasted a wall. It doesn't need to be grabbed. So, leave the wall. No wall. Dismantle the wall that got built, please. We got pretty good knowledge, so let's grab some of the stuff we want. I want skilled workforce 3. Maybe a little tempting to tax collector 3 as well. Yeah, let's grab tax collector 3. Okay. At least it's 290. I think the rest wants to be spent on improving the city rather than the empire, let's say. Speakers would be pretty good. Let's grab us the housing upgrade, which is probably reasonable to grab. And got the first hearth upgrade. Let's grab the second one. These are the 115. Let's go with the toilets. That's because fancy fighting pits is going to require swords, I think, that I don't got yet. Running spears for the army. Okay, training ground done. That's another 20 being trained. That message. Experience gained, because we've now got 50 overemployed in the mercenaries. That's good to see. Another needed that full 1,000 furniture. It hasn't arrived yet. Not sure which. Oh, that's arrived, so that's going to be another 20 people into training. So we're training 100 at a time now. Again, submission's a little low, and the way to fix that is to get more men trained in the army. Well, either that or be nice to the slaves, but being nice to the slaves is not easy. I'll let them have wood if wood. Oh, the benches in theory is helping, so we'll see if that's enough. Anyway, depending on the type, they either like humidifiers or don't. Oh, I suppose if we got the religion bonus going. The one we went for is submission, so we'd get more submission from that. Yeah, the big thing for submission is just more troops. Fulfillment is helping, but... And then for our main population. I might like if I started distributing clothes. That would make sense as a potential next thing to do after we get those services implemented. It's under services bench. And just trending up. Okay, so we've got enough access, I just need to get the benches that exist to be better. So we need to go through and do our upgrades. Okay. We do have a decent amount of wood, or furniture, so I'm going to assume that we had enough furniture, we're going to have enough furniture and all the benches are built. Working top down, we're going to start doing bench upgrades. Just in the northwest, including the road area. Oh, I suppose I didn't put up any in that area. It's not actually that many up here, although there's a decent down the road area here. Arguably missed a neighborhood. Okay. What I'm trying to do as many in one sort of click set as I can. But I don't necessarily want to upgrade the houses. I have to avoid the houses as I'm doing the box selects. Although we probably are reasonably equipped, I could probably upgrade the houses with furniture and petstone. Yeah, in some ways I wish there was an easier way to do the bench upgrades. It's probably the most annoying... Well, them and the torches, which we at least don't have to deal with in this run, are probably the two most annoying services to upgrade. Because of how they're implemented. That's the right side of the river there. So we now just got the main neighborhood and Western Highway. This music is reminding me at some point when I feel like I have the dexterity I need to be playing Stronghold on the channel. Real-time strategies can be, at least for multiple hours at a time, can be a little bit hit or miss to record. I definitely wouldn't be paying attention to the Twitch channel particularly well if I was doing a real-time strategy like Stronghold or Stronghold Crusaders. This music reminds me of Stronghold. I think it's the whistle in it. Which is probably not a whistle, it's probably got a fancier name to it, but... I am, when it comes to many a musical instrument, a bit of a Philistine, so... I do not know my instruments that well. Trying to get as many of these benches as upgraded as we can. It's probably fine if I miss a couple. I think in my attempt to make sure we have enough benches, I probably overbenched. So if a few of them aren't upgraded, that's probably fine. You don't have to be worried about overlapping most of the industries, because we don't have the industry upgrades to accidentally upgrade with. Although, maybe at some point in the future I will have to worry about that, so... Good thing I'm doing this now and not later. Not enough cut stone. Okay, well, let's, first let's double check. Still getting furniture, good to see. Presumably still getting clay, yes. Still getting cut stone. We're getting 50 a day. I don't want to wait until we make this. It probably is worth waiting until we make it, but I'm not going to wait. Oh, and as I clicked in here, we've got more knowledge to spend. We'll work on upgrading our services before we grab more services to upgrade. But yeah, let's go over to the main trading partner. They're almost where we could get to manual or to automatic trading at 1.5 is what we're aiming for. And it's expected to go up, so. Although I don't think it's going to go up enough. But yeah. Okay, so I would like. Can you give me 1,000 cut stone? Yeah. Quarter a mil. It's easy enough to do. Let time go faster until we see the cut stone go flying up from the trade coming in. As I'm waiting for the trade to arrive, we are generating more cut stone as we wait, so go along and slowly work on these. Because obviously without that big shipment, I'm gonna have to be a little bit slower. Well, suppose I'm actually going to be getting enough cut stone to finish the upgrades before the trade arrives. I didn't realize how close we were to being done. Okay, so now I've just got the main road, main western highway to do. Unless I missed some. I probably missed some somewhere. Although the highway would be really easy. We just sort of do that for that bit of the highway, that for that bit of the highway, and then that for that bit of the highway. There we are. Anyway, we can see the riches of the Empire. We're filling up, stockpiling on everything, except for tools at the moment, which, thinking about that, I need to buy some tools. So we go over to the neighbors. Friendly-ish neighbors. Oh, the flattery apparently decayed, and we're down to 0.69 again. Well, that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, resources, demand. I would like to buy tools from you. And I have like 2,000 tools. Yeah. Have some money. And then we'll end this bit, not 400 guys here, by doing a little bit campaigning against the next target. Both of those are pretty good hydration. More likely to lose the north one to someone else than the south one, so let's go north. And we're probably gonna have a field battle as soon as we hit the border here. Oh, no, our army's scary enough that we get them in a siege. Okay. Well, we can wait that siege out. And we're still going to wait for that trade. That trade is going to let us do a bunch of qualitative improvements. That's probably the... No, that's taxes coming in. That's all my extra fiber coming in. Got 6k fiber. Yeah. We got a little bit too much in taxes. Not enough warehouse space. Traders show up. It's like, where do you want us to put this? And I'm like, I don't know. And they just throw it out in front of the throne. Okay, so that's the trade for the cut stone. So we can go around and do some more useful upgrades. We'll turn the speed down. Let's go around and do the speakers, because those are pretty cheap, pretty beneficial. Okay, so that's all the speakers. What else did we upgrade? Toilets. We got the upgrade for toilets. And hearths. Toilets and hearths. Okay. And it's the final upgrade for the hearths. Because when I clicked on the hearth earlier... Yeah, so you've got an upgrade. Okay, we're gonna run out of metal, but I can push a couple of these. Okay, that's all the metal we have for the moment. And toilets. And we have everything for you, so I can click through a bunch of those. In fact, I probably can click through all of those. Do I still make enough cut stone? Yes, we are positive on cut stone. Although we might, given how rich we are, we might actually import more cut stone to do more construction. So I don't have to be patient. Same sort of logic with furniture. We make enough furniture. We make enough metal. Okay, so I can probably just import more metal. Do a manual import of metal to get a bunch of these stuff up. And then we can revisit the desire potentially for more metal. How does the housing look? So we need more housing over there. We got a little bit down there, that's short. Oh, and we still need more housing around the libraries. Okay. Alright. That'll help with the housing. How many unhoused do we have? So, human slaves. So the citizens are all housed. Right now, we just got unhoused slaves. Potentially one of the reasons why the slaves are not happy. Fair enough. They would like their access to housing improved. Although even that they don't really want much more of. The improved services will be nice. They'll be appreciating the toilets. Assuming we have enough toilets. We might not have enough toilets. We'll check that at the beginning of next episode, I think. And yeah, so missions improving. The big one here is just more army. And it is nice enough to copy and paste the upgraded benches, which is good. Okay, we're up over an hour. I think this is a good place to put a part break in. In the next one, we're going to be probably importing metal, so I can do more upgrades, spend more of the innovation, getting more services, and then dragging more people in. Yeah, probably just dragging more people in. I don't even necessarily need them to do jobs, I just need them in the city for government reasons. I need them in the city for government reasons. Because, again, I need more admin points. Or I need more government points, which means I need to get up to Sorax, which means I need 1,000 people in the city. We've grown, in an hour, we've grown 300 people. Mostly more human slaves. So the actual civilian... Well, the civilian population has grown, because you should probably include the slaves in the civilian population, but the citizen population hasn't grown much. It's just like 100 or so. So yeah, we need to get more people in the city. And we definitely don't have a shortage of resources. Yeah, definitely don't have a shortage of resources. And I'm pretty sure we can get, like, grain taxes and stuff going, so... I think if anything, we're probably making too much grain. Well, we obviously make too much grain, because that's happening. What's the bonus we've got on grain? Oh, it's still mostly Dondorians working the grain farms. I'm surprised we have enough grain. Although, we're getting a bigger experience bonus probably on the grain than we are on the bakeries, right? That's probably what's going on. Yeah, we have a bigger experience bonus. And I guess the experience bonus is, or the additive bonus from experience is bigger, comparatively speaking, than the percentile bonus. So we're at 102% effectiveness on making grain, whereas we're on bread we're at 98%. No, we're actually expecting to be worse at making grain than bread, but we've compensated with that with experience, so then I need to make more bread, and we'll think about that next time. Again, that's another thing where we could probably... We've got more ration storage, so I could definitely make more grain into more bread, into more rations. That's not a bad thing to do, and we can tax more grain from the colonies. We got options. But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a part up tomorrow. We're going to record another 3 parts tonight. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break here so you can get up, stretch the legs, sip some tea. And then we will get back to recording Songs of Six. We got to get the city bigger. I need to get another 1,200 people into the city just so we can get to the next level. So we can govern the mega cities that we're building elsewhere. And maybe at some point we'll get the diplomatic corps large enough that we can actually negotiate a trade deal with the neighbors. Maybe. Till next time, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.